Hi guys, welcome back. I am going to show you how I foil the fabulous Spellbinders March 23 Glimmer of the Month. There's a few pieces. I actually use all the pieces in this set. So to start with, there is this sort of chunkier glimmer plate, and I've created a hinge with it on the piece of cardstock that I want as my background. And the nice thing about this is that you can either use it just once like this as part of your background, or you can do it twice and create a whole card front, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm starting off having made the hinge on there, adding the foil to it so that the plate sits face down into the pretty side of the foil. And then I've got it on my hot foil machine, my Glimmer Spellbinders machine. And I know you can't see the dials on it, but basically it has a dial that when you first put the platform in, it will heat up, and then when it's ready you'll get a green light, and then there's a timer, and that's when you usually put your plate on there and let it cook, shall we say. Once that was ready, I then ran it through my my Sizzix Big Shot. It will work through there, but you run it through very slowly, and it just impresses that hot foil, which is now hot because of the plate, into the paper. Paper and cardstock will make a difference. So I actually, for this one, I had tried it on a watercolor mixed media paper like I did for the tulip card, which you would have seen previously and not that long ago. And it did not work for this one. I don't know whether it's just the detail on the on this particular die that it just did not want to impress very nicely. So cardstock does make a difference. Sometimes it works with things like watercolor papers, sometimes it doesn't. So this one did not, but I will show you how we're going to still color this in later on. So I often leave the foiling, once it's done, I leave it to just sort of cool off a little bit before I actually reveal. And there you can see one half of that panel is now done. I'm now going to take the second hot foil plate, which is this sort of centerpiece that you can either hot foil the top and the bottom with the sort of big one that we've just done, or you can hot foil with all three of them, you know, hot foil the two main plates and then put that center one in the center. But there's coordinating dies for it, so we're gonna actually die cut and use everything that's in this kit. That kind of made sense, but maybe not. So again, with the plate that's on the platform is now heating up, and I'm getting this one ready on the card base, ready to be heated up with the hot foil machine. That made any sense, guys? So once the little one is ready, I'm actually going to pull the platform out so that I don't have to do that, because it's quite like tight in there. So if I'm doing it this way, I will pull that out first, and then I've laid my foil pretty side down over the plate, my cardstock, and then the shim and the other plate that comes with the machine. And that's the sandwich to go through my Big Shot. So again, I'm just going to pop that off to one side and take that plate off the machine. I'm letting the platform on the machine warm up again. That's why I've not put the plate straight on there. Once that's ready, then I'll be able to do that. So while I'm waiting, this is when I will cut pieces for the other pieces I want, the other dies I want to hot foil. So I'm now getting the one ready for the sentiment. So for the colouring in, I use two Tombow markers. There's no names, unfortunately. And this is the die cut centerpiece. I also die cut the sentiment, which again the dies are in the set. And I have used a Lawn Fawn zigzag rectangle Stackables. This is new to me. It's not a new die set, but I just thought it would be kind of fun to add something that's a little more modern on top of a very delicate thing. And I basically, like I say, used all the hot foil plates and the coordinating dies in the Glimmer kit. So there's 3 pieces that we now have. You can see I've coloured in the little flowers, and I'm simply going to stick this together on the card. I mean, it couldn't get any easier. The longest part is doing all the hot foiling and doing those pieces, and even that doesn't take that long. If anybody's like me and you overheat just naturally, it gets a bit warm, so when you're hot foiling. But I think if you hot foil a whole bunch of things at the same time while you've got your machine out, you may as well. And that sort of helps when you then want to create later on, even if you just hot foil a whole bunch of things and make pretty things later on. You don't have to do it at the same time like I do for videos. You can sort of stockpile those pieces. So I have a standard A2 card. It's a top folding card, and it's just in some navy cardstock. It was just a card base I had on hand, and I'm just lining it up with the front of the card, and this zigzag rectangle sits, I can't talk today, sits really nicely on the front of an A2 card. It's really cool, actually. I really like it, and I'm glad I've got them now. So just sticking that completely flat to the front of the card. It couldn't get easier than that. And then for the other 2 pieces, I decided I wanted to add some dimension, because there's white on, it's blue and white on, you know, it might blend in a bit. I decided to pop them up just to add a bit of dimension, and also it means it sort of draws your eye into those layers in the center. So I've got, I think this is probably about 2mm high foam. It's kind of standard height, I think, for most foam. And this piece will just sit straight in the center between those 2, the top and bottom, and it's just perfect. I just love it. Yeah, it couldn't get any easier, guys. The piece of cardstock I started with was a 4¼ by 5½ inch piece, just so you know. So the main panel where I lined up the bigger hot foil plates, but it just lines up beautifully in the center there. And like I was trying to say earlier when I lost some footage, is that you can hot foil the top and the bottom, and then actually hot foil the center, and then hot foil the sentiment in the middle, so that you have like one flat, what do they call it, 1 layer card. You could easily do that as well, or you could just use the centerpiece on a completely separate embossed background or something like that. But look at how shiny that is. I just love it. I love it, and I'm so glad I got my Spellbinders machine. So I hope you've enjoyed this, guys. I hope there's some ideas in there for you, and yeah, until next time, bye for now.